Here with head women's basketball coach Jon Herbrechtsmeyer. Coach, congratulations. You've made it to the NCAA tournament. And tell me again, just for our fans, for our alumni, all those, what's it feel like? What's the mood of the locker room, and how excited are you guys to go to Wheaton this weekend?
It's like starting the season all over again. I mean, Monday was this roller coaster ride of I'd prepared the team for the worst because you want to underpromise and overdeliver, and we felt like there was a good chance that we'd move ahead of Whitworth in the regional polls, and if we did, then I felt like we'd be in. If we stayed behind them, I felt like we wouldn't be in. When the first pod came up and Whitworth wasn't in it, you know, there was all this excitement and, hey, you know, there's a great chance we're in. We got a fighting chance. Look for the St. Thomas pod. Look for WashU. Look for Wheaton. You know, I've been through this enough to know. And then the St. Thomas pod came up, and we weren't in it. And you could see even on the video that was online that, you know, a couple of them hit the desk. There were audible moans and groans, and I mean, and even I felt like somebody punched me in the gut because I'm like, well, that was the pod that made the most sense. And then to come up as the 64th name on the board was this like, whoa! It was awesome. I mean, it was truly like why we've spent all that time and energy, and the team has been through so much to get to that point. And you're on this elated mountain, and now you got to get right back to work. Yeah. So but it's just been, the mood's been great. It was like the first practice all over again. In fact, I had to get them refocused because it was like this, whoa! and now we're back to, all right, let's focus. Let's figure out how to win a couple games and maybe get back. Hopefully St. Thomas takes care of business, and if we could win 2 games, we'd be back here in the Sweet 16.
Well, let's talk about, you said that it's certainly been that season where you've put in a lot of time, blood, sweat, and tears. Talk about the season that you just finished, 21-6, 21-5 against a D3 opponent, one of the most successful in program history. What did it take to get to this point?
Oh, it took a lot. I mean, and it took 16 players, each one of them individually at different points, sacrificing some of what they may want individually out of it to get us to this point. And early on, it was really a struggle because we had the weight of expectations that we really haven't had here maybe since Deb Hunter was the coach here. And that was very hard on us. We all wanted to be there with St. Thomas. We wanted to compete for a conference championship. And the weight of those expectations brought with it some struggles and some growing pains. And at the point in time where we just stopped worrying about all that and just started to get back to the process of, let's play one practice at a time, one game at a time. Let's get a little better every time we step on the floor. That's when, you know, you'll look at our record. That's when, what was it, 11-game winning streak. And that's when consistency started to set in. There was a consistency of effort and practice. There was a consistency of focus. There was a consistency to what we did on the floor every time we stepped on the floor offensively and defensively. And that, when that happened, good things really happened. And, you know, to end the season, I think we won 13 of our last 15, and both the losses are to maybe the best team in the country. It's a pretty good run. We'll take that.
Well, let's just in closing talk about this weekend. You draw hope in the very first game, and they're a good team not to be overlooked, another at-large team that you'll face. And then should you win, probably maybe a chance against Wheaton. How do you guys need to prepare for this weekend to be successful?
Well, we want to prepare just the same way we have. We want to prepare thinking about with the end in mind, which is let's figure out how to win 2 games, but one at a time. Hope, they're very big. Mm-hmm. They go 6'1", 6'1", 6 foot across the front line. That can create some issues. But if you look, if you dig down into the number, the teams are very similar. We've got very similar numbers as far as rebounding, field goal percentage, both offensively and defensively. They probably shoot the 3 a little better than us, but I think we defend the 3 uncommonly well. So there's some things that I think each team can bring to give the other one trouble. And, you know, we're just excited to be in the position to be playing another game. And if we were able to get by Hope, I wouldn't. Don't write off Wisconsin Lutheran. I mean, I think people think because of their league, I think they think their league is maybe not as good as some of the other leagues like a CCIW. Wisconsin Lutheran is legitimately the best team in Wisconsin. I mean, the numbers show they were ranked ahead of all of the WIAC schools through the regional polls, and those regional polls don't lie. I mean, statistically speaking, that's a very good opponent. We have to prepare to play both Wisconsin Lutheran or Wheaton if we get by Hope. And Hope is 100% of our focus right now, but obviously we're compiling video on Wisconsin Lutheran and Wheaton right now, and going to get an assistant coach working on each of them today even. So it's a pretty exciting time.
Well, Coach, we want to say congratulations. Looking forward to an exciting weekend, and again, just to hats off to the girls and your staff for what you've been able to accomplish this year.
Thanks.